Welcome to Pubcast Live. I'm Ken Thomas, along with Thor. Pubcast Live is the podcast where we celebrate America's love affair with bars, pubs, and breweries. This is Episode 1. Mankind has been enjoying libations for around 10 million years, so we may be a little late to the party, but it's happy hour somewhere. Today's program is going to be a lot of fun. We've just cracked our first beers, and we haven't spilled on anything yet, so let's get going, and we hope you'll grab your favorite libation as we peek behind the scenes of what makes bars so great. Our show is brought to you by Giovanni's Frozen Pizza. Great frozen pizza. In fact, over 20 varieties to choose from. It's available in bars all over. Just ask for it by name. Giovanni's Frozen Pizza. Well, Thor, it's ready to talk with our first episode about Pubcast Live.
That's
I'm
right.
Ken Thomas.
And I am Thor all over.
I'm sure you are.
No, I'm going to go by Thor, okay? How's that?
That works. That
Yeah,
works.
Like you say, with a name like Thor, you don't need a last name.
No, you really don't. In fact, I've seen your golf clubs. You have a hammer on there that's signifying the hammer of the gods.
Thor's hammer.
That's a good thing to have on your golf bag.
Absolutely. It scares people like you.
Especially
You're always intimidated.
That's right. Cold weather, you can always tap that tee into the ground. By the way, we are good friends and have been for a long time. So
That's right.
Not only do we golf together,
Yep. We fish together.
we play in bands together.
That's right. We both play in a band. We just have a lot of fun together. And we decided to do this podcast.
Why Pubcast Live?
Well, like I said, I was saying I was never in a bar before I'd met you, and that was about 50 years old, and so I've had a lot of fun, and we've just been to a lot of cool places. And as we think about it, it's like, why do we love this? I mean, why do you love it so much? What do you love about your favorite place you go?
You don't sound 50 years old on this podcast.
I sound older.
No, a lot younger.
Oh, okay, good.
So, yes, we're both in our mid-30s. And,
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, yeah. I mean, both of us have had just great times in bars. We love the social aspect, and that's really what drew us to this pubcast.
Yeah, it's just like,
This podcast called Pubcast. How's that?
You love going to them, and you're sitting there having a great time, and sometimes it's just, you're having fun, but sometimes it's fun to think about, getting deep inside and say, what is it we love about our bars? What is it we love? And there's a lot of bars, a lot of pubs out there, and there's a lot of fun, so we're going to explore that. We're going to interview owners of bars. We're going to interview brewmasters. We're going to mixologists. We're going to have a special beer person on here who knows everything about beer.
We might have to do some history.
That's right. We're going to have a special guest on the history of a part of Minnesota that some of you may not know of, but there's a deep, rich history up there, and all the fun little taverns and pubs and things that have been up around that area.
In a remote area of
That's
Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
By the way, we are doing this podcast from Minnesota. But
That's right.
We've managed to hit bars all over a good section of the United States, but we'll probably focus on bars and pubs and breweries here in central Minnesota to start, and then we'll work our way out from there.
That's right. Our show originates in Brainerd, which is right in the heart of the Lakes country. But we've got all these cities around us, and the entire area is just a great place to come and golf and have fun and fish, and it's a great place to be. Snowmobile.
Yeah, we have a lot of bars per capita here because of the tourism industry, if
We
you
do.
think about it. Yeah.
Actually, we do. There's for one bar for every 5,271 Minnesotans.
Wow.
Now, you should be really impressed by that.
I am.
But guess what? That's number 17 on the list.
Of bars per capita in states?
Per capita. In other
I
words,
see.
So,
Holy mackerel. So who's the leader in the clubhouse on that particular list?
Well, you might be surprised. A lot of people might jump right on Wisconsin. We love our Wisconsin, but it's actually in North Dakota. So,
I have relatives in Wisconsin, and it seems there's a bar, post office, bar, little shop,
church,
gas station, church, bar. Across the street, 3 bars. So,
That's right. That's right.
That's the typical Wisconsin town. But you're saying North Dakota?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's one bar for every 1,621 residents.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. But followed closely by that is Montana, oddly enough. Now, these areas are kind of sparse, right?
I'm seeing a trend here, and that's the fact that neither of those states have a huge population.
That's right. So
that skews those stats
It does.
But coming in at number 3 with a large population, Wisconsin.
There we go. All
there
right.
They are. I knew they'd be there.
Yeah. We're so proud of you people in Wisconsin, and that was kind of tough for you to take, I know, but it has more to do, like you say, with the density of the population and how spread out it is.
Yeah, and I'm going to go one other thing that possibly is the reason there's so many bars in Wisconsin. Behold the power of cheese.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
got to be it. Or brats.
Yeah. Or everything.
Or everything.
Just everything that has to do with beer bars. Beers.
Well, I'm liking it. We're going to have a lot of fun on this show, and I hope you will too. And let's say right away, if folks have any ideas about favorite bars in their neck of the woods, please let us know about it. We'll give our contact information here at the end of the show.
That's right, because what we're going to have fun with here is if you're listening to us in Minnesota, we originate here, but you could be anywhere in the U.S. or the world for that matter, but predominantly around this area, there's a lot of places in this state that you don't know about, little pockets here and there. And great places to go visit, fun things to do. We're going to explore all that, but we're also going to talk about fun places to go when you're there and to seek them out.
Absolutely. And there's other aspects of bar, too. The food.
Yep.
Special events.
That's right.
Games.
Specialty drinks. That's probably a whole show on that because,
Might have to be 2.
Yeah.
Might have to be 3 shows.
We'll stretch it into as many as we need to. But,
That's right.
Yeah, it's just going to be interesting because a lot of bars have a great. As a matter of fact, you were telling me about one of the bars you've been to that has it's a Bloody Mary.
Yes.
That has everything, including something.
Ah, yes, including the kitchen sink.
That's right.
That particular bar up in beautiful Tower, Minnesota. We were on a camping trip and ended up in that bar and had a Bloody Mary, and it was the most amazing thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's the kind of thing we'll be talking about here on Pubcast Live. And like I say, if you know of some of these things, share that information. We'll give you that contact information at the end of our show. Oh, by the way, of all those stats you gave about bars and how many are per capita, let's not forget that totally in the United States, we're down from a few years ago. There was 62. I believe the latest statistic has us at about 59,000 plus bars in the United States.
Yeah, but and it's been a challenging time. There's no question about that for all these bars and pubs. We're happy to be starting this right now. It's not directly related to that, but it's certainly part of the story, and it always will be. Even going forward, it's going to be things have changed forever, I think, and we'll explore that too. What are people doing to stay relevant and stay in the game? So
yeah, all right. Let's do one last question as we get to know each other a little bit and share our likes and dislikes with our listeners. Your favorite drink now. We're not talking about beer, but your favorite drink if you had to have a drink today.
Up until the last ice fishing trip we took, I would have said a Bloody Mary. But
we don't want to tell that story.
No, but we made on our last ice fishing trip. We made margaritas.
Yes, we did.
And so I'm I love my Bloody Marys, but I'm gonna say that I'm evolving. I'm changing, and it's now officially
margarita.
A margarita.
That is a heck of a choice, and I wish we were more diverse, but I would say the same thing.
Yeah, well, you were on the same ice fishing trip. It was amazing.
It turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
So margaritas, although a Bloody Mary is a good second for me. I still love. That's breakfast or lunch in a glass, depending on what time of the day you start.
That's right. I wouldn't turn either one of them down. But
all right, on this segment, let's share something else about ourselves. Let's talk about our very first experience in a bar. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to tell my story? You decide.
Well, you go ahead.
Well, I grew up on the east side of St.
Chicago,
Paul, Twin
the baddest
Cities.
part of town.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, I grew up on the east side of the Twin Cities, and for us, it was 15 minutes to drive to Wisconsin.
Oh, boy.
Here we
There's
are.
Wisconsin again.
Back to Wisconsin again.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Anyway, at the time, they had just changed the drinking law down to 17 in Wisconsin. Guess how old I was?
I'm going to guess 17 or 16.
16 at the time,
Okay.
but it was so close.
Sure.
We decided to go over there. All my buddies were 17, so I got somebody's ID I borrowed that was, relatively close to my looks, I guess, my vital statistics. Anyway, off we went. And there we go, across the Stillwater Bridge into Wisconsin. And there used to be a place right across, I believe the name of the town there is Holton, Wisconsin, right across the bridge from Stillwater. And there was a little place called the Rose Bowl. To be honest with you, I don't know if it was a bowling alley or not. I don't remember, because I remember being kind of worried that I was going to get caught, being underage.
Okay, so worried. That's what we're going with. That's why you don't remember. You were worried.
That's right. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Got it.
Anyway, we go into the Rose Bowl in Holton, Wisconsin, and that's where I had my first beer. And we had a great time.
Did you have to sneak in, or you just walked right in?
Walked right in. I had the ID, and back then they didn't have pictures on them or anything.
Right.
So
he said, "Welcome, Mary. We're glad to have you."
She was the same weight and the same height.
Should have looked a little closer.
That's right. Anyway,
a boy named Mary.
A boy named Mary. It could happen.
It could happen. There's a boy named Sue. We know that.
We remember the song.
That's right.
So, yeah, we went in. We had a great time, and that's all I remember is we had a wonderful time. By the way, little side note to that story, it was a few years later that place burned to the ground, and it's never been rebuilt. There is no bar in Holton, Wisconsin that I know of.
Yeah, but I bet some of our listeners might remember that, the Rose Bowl. You never know.
Entirely
Unless they're all
true.
20. Anyway, okay.
No, 30.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I remember my first time was with my brother, Eric. He's about 8 years older than me, and for some reason I was in the Twin Cities with him, and he was with a few of his friends. And I think I was like maybe 15. But they really wanted to go into this place, and he says, "Hey, Thor, we'll get you, we're going to go in, and you go in with us." And I'm like 15. So he says, "Here, you take my glasses and put them on."
Oh,
That'll
wow.
help. Yeah.
The Clark Kent disguise.
That's right.
The seldom used Clark Kent disguise.
Nobody saw it coming. But so he says, "Here, you take my glasses." And then he gave me his ID, I think, too. And so I was just scared, Of course you were.
Yeah.
So we go walking in, and they all go walking in, and then I'm supposed to walk in front of my brother first. So I get up to the door, and I'm ready to go in, and I put the glasses on. I couldn't see a damn thing. I tell you what, these things were so thick. Everything was just blurred. I saw a big blob on my right, and I know that was the guy checking IDs or letting people in, I can't imagine what I looked like. I'm 15, and I'm stumbling around walking in. And somehow I got in.
Wow.
But I couldn't see a thing. Oh, it was just terrible. So,
now, did you leave the glasses on the entire time you were in there?
Well, I had to. I mean, if I took them off, it was obvious I was 15. If I left them on, I'm sure I looked 19 or 20, right?
Okay. So there you are. Did you have a drink in the bar?
No. I think I probably had a Coke or something, I'm sure. But I'm sure they were all sitting there having... I don't remember. I was so scared the whole time. I think I was just sitting there shaking. So. And
they probably laughed the whole time, your brother and his buddies.
Yeah. It was probably a friend of theirs that was the bouncer, and just... making sure.
They set you up.
Yeah, they probably set me up.
Here, Clark, wear these glasses. So when was the first time you were in a bar and had your first drink?
That would have been when I was 16 now, obviously.
A year older.
A year older, so I was much wiser and older.
Mature looking.
Much more mature
you didn't
looking.
Need the glasses.
Yeah, trust me, I really looked old at 16. No, I was in a little theater group in high school that went to, we did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. It was a musical. And we went over to London, of all places. It was kind of a theater group.
Now, wait a minute. Let me pause this story for a moment. I know you play keyboards. Did you play Schroeder in the...
No, I was Charlie Brown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But we had the whole cast.
Did you do your own stunts when she pulled the football away?
Yeah, I went flying. I'd kick and go... Yeah. No, it was fun. We'd go around to the equivalent of grade schools over there in London and put on this little play every day. Right?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But it wasn't sanctioned by the school. It wasn't a sanctioned event, so we had to form our own little company. And we went over there and we had like 2 chaperones with us, the theater director and the piano player. And we would get done at the end of this day, and they would basically say, "Okay, we have a show tomorrow morning at 9. We've got to get on the train, with all of our stuff. See you guys then." And we were just left alone, and there's 10 of us or something. So
world's worst chaperones.
Oh
is
my
what
God!
You're telling me.
I'm not going to name any names, but we had more fun. I mean, we went off, And one day I went off by myself, actually, and rode the tube all over, and I found Abbey Road, because that was that was a big album. You know, growing up, I had a lot of older brothers, and Abbey Road was
iconic location.
Yeah, and so I walked across that. But anyway, we went to this pub. It was a true pub, you know, and we walked in the door, and nobody ever asked us for any age or identification or anything. I think maybe 16 was the age there.
What a country.
Yeah, could have been. And I remember that the only thing I think they were drinking there was Guinness.
Well, you're in England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a great Guinness, and the key to that was it needed to be room temperature, not cold. It's room temperature, and apparently the key to a good beer like that is that little thick malty head stays about the same width the entire way down the glass. And
wow.
So that was kind of my first beer was a Guinness. That's
way to start at the top.
Yeah, that's a little strange though. I mean, my dad drank Olympia. You know, you'd think I could have.
Oh my gosh.
Well, or whatever was the cheapest at the grocery store. I'm sure that's what. So as I got old enough to start trying beers,
Buckhorn in Minnesota.
There you go.
That's another story.
There's a show too.
Yeah, the cheapest
beers ever. Growing up or whatever. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Okay.
Save that for another show.
So that was it, and that's my first experience there, and I guess I came home and really straightened up after that, obviously.
Okay.
Clean living.
I don't believe, I believe most of that story except the last part about the straightening up and clean living. By the way, interesting that you bring up Olympia, because I grew up, I was a little older than you, but I remember when that beer was first brought to Minnesota, it was from Washington, Olympia, Washington.
Oh, sure.
If you remember, back in the day, most beers were very regional.
Yeah.
There wasn't the mass, distribution of beers that we have today.
Right.
So growing up in the Twin Cities, the Schmidt Brewery was there,
Yep.
Ham's Brewery.
Oh, yeah.
These were all the big, and in fact, when I joked about Buckhorn, I think you could buy that for $5 for a case of 24 in the bottles. And that's what my parents would drink once in a while.
Yeah. I just remember super cheap beer, and that was my experience a little older when I started getting a little older. And yeah.
What is the cheap beer now? I don't even know.
I guess I couldn't tell you.
It might be, I see a lot of people drink Busch.
Yep.
Busch beer. I think that's one of the,
Busch.
that's a Budweiser product.
I used to drink Blatz. Where's that? Is that still around?
I can tell you I know you drink Blatz.
It kind of sounds like
the sound effect that...
Yeah. To me, it sounds like you've already drank it once, actually, to be honest with you. I don't think it should have ever.
Okay, we can't run down these beers because
No.
we tend to enjoy all beverages.
That's right.
In fact, we're having one right now, aren't we?
That's right. We are. We're sharing a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Well, we're
beautiful
not sharing
green
it. We've
can.
each got our own.
Oh, yeah.
Here,
There.
cheers. So here's to Pubcast Live.
All right.
And many more programs.
Back at you.
Like we say, we'll be sharing all kinds of information, interviewing some really cool people, and we'll talk about why we like bars.
That's right.
So let's get back to what we were talking about earlier. And that's the fact that if people want to contact us about their favorite bar for whatever reason, maybe it's a festival, maybe it's a haunted bar, whatever reason you think we should talk about that bar and maybe contact them and interview the owner, why, let us know about it. We've got many ways you can contact
That's
us.
right. You can go to our website, which is pubcast.live. That's Live, pubcast.live. Facebook, you can find us at Pubcast Live. Please join us on Facebook. That'd be great. We're going to post our podcast there. And what else do we have?
You can drop us an email.
That's right. info@pubcast.live. Well, that's enough, isn't it?
That's enough.
We're not on Twitter.
That's all.
We're not on Instagram yet. We'll probably have to go into all those, but we'll see.
Bottom line is, let us know about your favorite pub. Again, visit our website, pubcast.live. Email us at info@pubcast.live, or find us on Facebook. Just search for Pubcast Live. That's it for this edition of Pubcast Live.